Hello everyone, and welcome to Cultist Simulator, the Mariner mod. I'm Roanoke, and I recently had a look at this mod, this game. Seemed pretty, honestly, quite fun. I'm having a good time with it. I've had one playthrough which sadly ended with my character dying. Oh well, live and learn. Apparently air is important. Anyway, let's continue. This is effectively a new game. You see, I haven't even named the character yet. What do we want to call this guy? The Mariner. Sure. Moby, why not? Okay, so you start off effectively looking at this. I click continue, but that was just setting up a new game. Sort of rearrange things how I like. So we have the sail verb. Travel from port to port, voyage from sea to sea, explore things lost and things not yet discovered. Well, we got a boat, the Kite, sorry, a ship. We got London as a destination or location. Destination. It's a port. And we have 7 crew members. They will become more of something in a bit. But the main thing of interest we have is a box with ciphered instructions. A curious thing. The man from Marseille? I don't know how to pronounce French words. Left his instructions in a cipher. By the way, if you can hear me breathing, I apologise. I'm getting over a lingering sickness. Hopefully I'm getting over it. It's going, one way or the other. Might take me with it. But neglected to give me the key. Secrets wrapped in secrets. First of all, we want to pick our ship and travel to London. Like this. They've done some great work with this mod, and it recently came out. Or came into 1.0 release. So I figured I'd take a look. Okay, so our crew members have been effectively grabbed by this verb here. They're going to... well, you can see what happens when it happens. Docking to London. Up the Thames until the river is more brown than grey, and the air more noise than silence. Here we dock. Honestly, more brown than grey is like you're still in the East End of London. The rain patters. This is a weather card. Weather. And inspiration in the natural world. So I've figured out quite a few things, so this isn't going to be a blind playthrough. Sure, I at least know a good amount of what's in store for me. We've got some thrill, nice influence card, memory. We have Sailor Stories, No Bar, London, and No Wharf. I will just grab those. So Sailor Stories is a story with a whole bunch of aspects. So very brief. Any well-traveled person collects stories on their travels, but no well is as full of anecdotes as the ocean. Oh, well, as in like a well of knowledge. Regale your audience with a swell of partial truths and full lies, and whisk them away to far-off, half-real places. The relevant ones here are story and local. Local is a quite common verb. You see, these two, though these are not actual things yet, they'll become things later. But local is local. as one might imagine. Local to London. Let's allow things to time to pass. We have our navigation, my thoughts. I wander through the passages of my mind, trying to unravel my feelings about this city. Oh, I skipped over... Good old Moby here. He's from London originally. He's a captain of the boat, wherever the boat's gone. Here it is, the Kite. And yeah, from London, returning here has unlocked a few strong memories. Hello, interjection from Roanoke from the future here. So just because I felt that I didn't want to feel like you were missing out on anything, so just what I referenced there. London, the capital whose streets I once called home. Now I am not sure if any port can claim that fame. Still, it brings back memories as you're travelling there. Strange to go back to London again. It's a port I often skip. Too many memories, but the man fucking. I've recorded several hours of this already. But the man from Marseille paid a significant amount of money for this letter to be delivered outside of the system. We are smuggling a box of ciphered instructions. That is what I did. A bad job of explaining before. Hopefully that sounds okay. And then ta-da! I carried on from here. Anyway, back to me in the past. Alright. We have unlocked the moon. The moon is my constant companion on my travels, and through my thoughts may she enlighten me and guide me well. And yeah, quite relevant. The new moon, so another inspiration of the natural world. Like the weather, these two are ever present on our venture, though in many different forms. Who are these sailors? Let's just collect them. So we have a whole bunch of different people. Clumsy mute crewman. A lot of stuff here. We have... so let's find a more boring one real quick. Here we are. The most boring crew member we have. A careless stout crewman. Pretty much all basic crewman. Able to do anything, good at nothing, expendable. Good description there. So they have some heart, they have some forge, they're talkable, you can talk to them. They're a crew member, so you see down here we have 7 out of 8, the capacity of our ship currently. I'm not sure if we can increase these, so cargo hold 0 out of 3, we have nothing in the cargo, and from the looks of things we have 7 out of 8 crew people aboard. We can talk to them, they have edge, and they have this other aspect, longing for home. Though thoughts of home, thoughts of warm hearths, or thoughts of smiling children, eventually they pull on sailors as strongly as the sea, or as their contract. So yeah, we've contracted these men, but eventually they will long for home enough, and you see they start out with different quantities of such. So I'm just going to arrange them. And you see some of them have additional ones. Engaging. An engaging bright-eyed crewman has the trait engaging. They might be relevant in sometimes. A winning smile and a wicked sense of humour. This sailor will help attract more adventurous crew. Not sure if I've used that or if it's a passive thing. Cowardly. With one who has a reputation like this on my ship, I am unlikely to attract a more adventurous sort of sailor. Okay. We have a careless stout crewman. Nothing fancy about him. And a flighty noisy crewman. With stomping boots and endless bodily noises, it is taxing to carry a tune near them. This may affect my dealings with the Raconteur network. I don't know who that is yet. And we have a clumsy mute crewman. So let me just try and filter these by how much time I have left with them, more or less. Put this down here. Sure. Fit. That'll resolve in a bit. So we got 1, 2, 2, 4. Another 2. Okay. Got some. And a careless stout crewman. Okay. And then clumsy mute crewman here. Yeah. Mute is speaking of silver and silent as gold, the sailor's tongue is gilded. Clumsy, as likely to cause damage as to repair it. Yeah. Let's leave them for now. We have sailor stories. And we have our box of ciphered instructions. Oh look, matching symbols. Navigable. Navigate. Another interesting verb. Navigate my thoughts, feelings, puzzles, conundrums, compose music, and unravel mysteries. Thinky think verb. The man, yeah, we need to figure out this mysterious set of instructions. And here returns our kite. It's taken a wound of timber. Ouch. We shouldn't set sail with that. We need to fix it up. If only we could, I don't know, go to a hearth or something. Sorry, not hearth. Harbour, wharf. So we have these two, which will become something in a moment, but currently, I've not found a wharf in this city yet, somehow, but I know that any port worth their salt must have one. I can find a wharf by exploring with my half heart. I've not found a bar in the city yet, but I know that any port worth their salt must have one. I can find a bar by exploring with my half heart. We don't currently have our half heart. Like I said, they'll become something. A solved puzzle is just a page. Sorry. It is just a page of lines and a sense of accomplishment. A package for Miss M with directions. Once this was my home. Okay. Now we have the explore verb. A nice staple verb. Let's put them there. I do tend to move things around in weird places. Oh, sure. As I walk the streets of old London, a great melancholy overtakes me. How many hours did I wander these streets as a youth, never finding what I was looking for? Sorry, I was muting myself to cough then. I need to remember what my hotkey for that is. Figure it out after. I keep my eye on the curves of the river, and before long I spot a hidden little window, bleeding dirty yellow light. Miss Morland, a merchant in rare and valuable books. Throw that up there. Before I rap on the door, I part my lips, uncurl my tongue, and am ready to speak first words. Sure. Let's talk to this lady about her package. You are not the usual messenger, but if you can deliver messages discreetly, our lot can pay you well. Before I can even try to hand her the package, she pulls me inside. She studies my face, and I think I might have another opportunity for you. Fussing over where things are. Let's actually read all this. I think I might have an opportunity for you. All night she tells me stories about someone, something. She calls them, something she calls the centipede. and her pilgrimage up the waterfall at the edge of the world. One that flows at the threshold between the wake and myth. You can't dream, can you? In a way, you're like her. Even for you there is a way out, beyond the wind, behind the rain. My broken heart aches. Could there truly be a way out of this muted world? Her eyes glint like candlelight. Think it over. In the meantime, didn't you have something for me? So we need to talk to her again about the package. The Travels of the Centipede. This story tells of the travels of the Centipede. The place she visits, high and low, true and real, and the antics. And that got her banned from the House of the Sun. Temptation exemplum. Shall I dedicate myself to the stories about the truer places I can half glimpse through the fog of worldly mysteries? Well, these are definitely things, a lot of symbols. So we have a desire and navigable, but if we try that. If I wish to explore the places which are more true than real, and sailors beyond the limitation, and sail beyond the limitations of the world, I could follow in the footsteps of the centipede. Moreland has indicated she could tell me where to take the first step. So it's basically saying, can't do anything with that yet. Need to talk to Moreland about it. Travels of the Centipede. A lot of symbols here. Again, we have story. You notice it doesn't have the local. One thing to note is that local things disappear when we change locations. Spoiler alert. Witty. Humour is the sword that cuts kings and the flame that cannot be extinguished. Laughter can unite without language. It's a witty book. Winter, knock. These are some familiar, no doubt. Apollonian, all that is touched and tinted by the immortal light above. Sure. Occult, all stories enact the passions of the hours in some guise, but few are as blatant as this one. Yeah. Whimsical, reality can be a taxing exercise. Everyone sometimes longs for a more pleasant alternative. And chthonic. Beyond the doors, to death beyond the shifting earth, beyond the night's veil. I don't fully know what that means. This trait is just beyond. And a song challenge. We're gonna understand what that means later. Sing verb, there you go, it spoils it. All the world is a stage, but this requires my performing talents specifically. This card can be used in the sing verb. A hole in my heart. Moreland saw what I was missing, the negative space in my heart. She took the opportunity to fill this space with stories. We have my lack heart. A wound in the soul, a raw nerve, a longing. If I leave this exposed, the universe will try to fill it. Use this while exploring, talking or performing, and you may find tuned stories or other inspirations. So I do like how it, does these gives you direction in the text. The mod is very good about balancing things like that, so you're not totally lost, but it's not too obvious first time. The learning is enjoyable. Use this while exploring, talking or performing. What does it mean by that? Well, we got some exploring to do. Can we explore this again? No, we can't. We've already found who it belongs to. We can search around London with our lack heart, and I'm going to do that. Meanwhile, let's talk to her. I'm just going to let that run for a few seconds, just in case. That's what I... Not sure yet? Yeah, okay. So, if you saw up there, I didn't mention it, but let's go ahead and do it now. Intent, what kind of reward do I want? Well, we want church bells. My luck heart. What would you like in exchange? Surely not money. Knowledge. I have plenty to trade. So you see the other. My half heart. This is what we use to find the bar on the wharf. My passions, my drive, my charm, my thrumming blood, my clever fingers. If I present this to the world, I may be able to bend this to my will. Use this while exploring, talking, or performing, and you may find or discuss things of interest to you. Right, that's just a sneak peek on what is soon to come. Church bells. The bright and crisp sound calling a flock to the promise of enlightenment. It's a song challenge. It has some knock, it has some lantern, and it has a tune. All songs start with the first notes. Yeah, we can talk about this. So, we can do our thinky think power. You remember it said compose music and unravel mysteries. Well, we have a tune here. The tune of church bells. And what can we put in there? Well, does it say? How can I? It's not showing. Basically, inspiration, natural world. We can be inspired by the moon. And I'll do that. We could be inspired by the rain, but spoilers. This has a moth aspect, and the church bells is knock and lantern. You need to match them. Yes. Yes, the other reason for your visit. Great, what would you like to know? Surely not money, knowledge, I have plenty to trade. Here's for you as payment. As I hand her the package, she sifts through a drawer and hands me 2 crisp envelopes. Would you deliver these in a hurry for me, please? It isn't far, and I'm quite sure the recipients will reward you greatly for your trouble. It's essentially rewarding the mailman with more mail. Yeah, so we have a letter for the veiled lady of Amsterdam, and for Solachana Amavisia, and a scrap of information. A hint of something deeper, a promise of something more, a new location or opportunity to discover. Could it be the next step in my travels? It's also navigable. Never's busy at the moment. In the meantime, what do we have here? We have a letter for the enigmatic owner of the Ecdysis Club. Well, let's go find that. Morland handed me this letter to deliver, even though the recipient is within the capital. I like to avoid her attention whenever I can. Understandable. Put that up there. Singing. Hang on. Let's read this first. I like to avoid her attention whenever I can. Perhaps a stroke of luck, I am spared the attention as well. A tall Greek accepts the letter on her behalf. He offers me a drink and a hefty sum of money for the delivery. We have a nice chunk of change and the Ecdysis Club. Ecdysis? Yeah. I never feel like I'm saying it right. So, the tall Greek. So you stopped to be a singer, so you used to be a singer, but you stopped. He shakes his head. Impossible. He suddenly pulls me through the empty club towards the stage. Sing for me. He leads me through some ladders toward my vocal cords, then some ballads toward my soul. He urges me to practice. He urges me to look for inspiration. He urges to begin the search for my other half. As I leave, my throat still tingles with passion. He sits at the table, looking at me. Your future may be found among the crowd. Listen to the rumours and learn to make sense of them. Farewell. So we have another temptation. Constellate. Should I seek for that part of me that is missing? and we have Mr. Agdistis, the tall Greek, the tall and tragic stage director of the Ecdysis Club. Cool, so now we have the sing verb. It's just permanently a thing now. I know I'm weird about this, but yeah. A burning will. Ecdysis saw what I had. What's missing may simply be out there looking for me. It's our half heart. I already read that. And we have the tide comes in. The tide comes in, the tide retreats. Find here what drags in its wake. Basically, season in time passing. That old thing. That old wound begins to ache. Cool, so we have our two halves of a heart, which I love this as a mechanic, and I think we should go exploring. Remember, up here we have a wharf to discover and a bar to discover. Veiled Lady of Amsterdam, probably not in London. We've, I'm guessing, found the anchor. I've found the bars where sailors meet when the longing for travel pulls at them once more. And let's see if we can find the wharf. What else? What other things do we have? A longing for elsewhere. The routine of life here is smothering me, and the horizon is beginning to tug at my soul. I long to travel. Wanderlust. This may lead to heartache. Without new experiences, something inside me gnaws. Without travel, I will fade until I feel like I am dreaming in my waking hours and dead when I'm asleep. So, another influence. Yeah. Ill health. One sec, I need to cough. Lingering sickness. I spoke of ill health and... Yep. I found the street that smells like oil and wood chips. The wharf. It's a wharf. Yep. It's explorable and it's also local. Talkable and location. You'll see what happens when we change locations. But I really love what they do with these, the wharf and the bar, as a concept. It's a very well put together mod. Cool. So keep exploring with our half heart. See what else we can discover, if we can discover anything else. What do we want to talk about? We can talk about this. Club, what do you want to know? Okay, so upgrade Nox song with nature inspiration. Natural world, and we now have a song. What once was a tune is now a song. While we may not share a language, anyone with their soul can understand this song. Aspect inspiration used natural world. We can't upgrade it again. It seems upgradable, you can tell because of the different, or at least I could tell based off the different notes that are highlighted and not. The moon is a sliver outside my window and has granted me a new understanding. I do not pen down, I slice. I carve from the sheet what is not needed, and my notes can be found in the spaces in between. A ring of insight. An influence. Manifested influences. Lies flounder, voices waver, even silence is a door to truth. Having gathered this influence around you will aid you in collecting packages and exploring the streets with an open heart. Hint, explore the streets with an open heart. Cool, I will put those, I don't know, up here. And this can go down here somewhere. Sorry, I'm adjusting things to how I quite like them. Not that it fully matters at the moment, and a lot of empty space. Cool, so what sort of thought? I'm thinking what people would be thinking around this time, going off of first experience. Guided by rumour or by memory, I will explore the heart of the Empire. If I apply my charm, I may find extraordinary peoples, places, or opportunities. Odd corners. Recognise that symbol? It's or recognise that picture? It's very similar to base game. Each city has its corners where the peculiar crosses paths the illicit. Sure. Might be a missing with there. With in the word. Let's try exploring with my lack heart, because a ring of insight was telling me about that. Yes. New person. What would they be thinking? They would be thinking, hey, what odd corners? That's explorable. We can explore that in a bit, but I don't necessarily want to rush into that. No particular reason why. I was just checking that. When the past comes, take stock of me. Sure. A scrap of information. This is navigable, is it not? Well, let's take a look. We are missing a rumour. We need a bit of information combined with a rumour, and that will produce something. We have Miss Morland, story to trade. Now, story to trade, what do we have? We have The Travels of the Centipede, which was given to us by Miss Morland, and Sailor Stories, which we received when we arrived in London. Right now, I'm not going to do this trade, but we absolutely could put either book in there, and, sorry, not book, story. They just look like a book. However, I'm not going to do that yet, and I will spoil why in a bit, when this resolves, hopefully, if we're lucky. My soul has been split, and I have been born a bleeding, aching half-self. My other half is somewhere out there across the 7 seas. If I find them, I can complete myself. If I complete myself, I can find them. It's another desire. Navigable. Yeah. What can we do here? Technically, we can put one of these in. Again, story to trade. And a story to trade. Yeah, I will explain. Why not? Season of Reckoning. My soul is not yet a tally of past scars. I will not be changed today. Cool. Effectively, nothing happened. Hey, look, a season of suspicion. Sometimes when you explore these odd corners, you can rouse notoriety. You're probably familiar with this, or you may not be. If you've played the first game, the base game, you're probably familiar with what that symbol might mean. And thus, I don't exactly want to explore the odd corners at this time. The city is rife with tale-tellers, nannies rambling about tales for a coin, sailors with their bellies full of stories and liquid, old beggars and young peddlers. As I explore, one of them locks eyes with me. They stare at me with glintful eyes, and let a package stick out of their pocket. Interesting. And yeah, this is the decision to do that. So, one of them, do they think I remember? Can I be sure they are? We are exchanging stories, or shaking hands the way members do. I'm not sure. All I know is, if they are, my stories please them. If they are, my stories please them. They might give something more substantial than tales to me. I'm not sure if I was reading that right, but I feel like there's some grammar missing at times. The package they might offer is displayed at the bottom of the window. This ivory cylinder. An ivory cylinder, when approaching it, I can definitely feel a subtle odour of seawater. The note on it says, learned in heart but encased in winter. Sure. Nope, that would just produce another odd corner, I think. Let's do that, why not? So, in the old country, if you lived too close to the woods without end, you have to honour the Baba Yaga. If she visits, do not look at the glint of her iron teeth or the movements her long fingers. I do feel like there's missing words, but simply let her count your spoons, and if the number pleases her, she will soon be on her way. Respond with a chthonic story. Hey look, a chthonic story. Let's tell of the travels of the centipede. So this is kind of the main use for stories. You trade them to people for mysterious packages. We were talking to him about the club. Club, what do you want to know? I'm not the founder nor the owner, but I do feel a certain responsibility for the club and those who passes through. I'd love to see you on our stage again. Yeah, he just tells you a bit more about the club. The Ecdysis Club is empty, but somehow it feels smaller during the day, even with the daylight safely behind curtains. So we could hold a song, but we don't have an instrument. So that's useless for us at the time. I've yet to actually find an instrument in my first playthrough. I think I was on the right track for one, but I died before I could get to it. You can talk to people about quite a lot of stuff. The wharf and bar, generally they don't have anything to say about. This one doesn't seem to have anything to say about that. You use navigate to swap stories. Basically, you see here it's giving us a spoiler, or not a spoiler, but like helping us, because we wouldn't be able to figure this out otherwise. We need to respond with a chthonic story. All books have different traits like this, and these typically take 1 or 2 stories to. In this case, it was 1. The connection made, the conversation flows to different topics. We part ways, now my back burdened with another satchel, and theirs enlightened by equal measure. We basically achieved this. And you see here, the travels of the centipede exhausted. So, unique books, when used in this way, are exhausted. Non-unique books are consumed. Exhausted books are... well, I mean, I feel like I've exhausted this story of its substance by telling it. I should move, experience new things, meet with a different crowd in order to give it new colours. When you sail to a different place, exhausted books unexhaust. I'm spoiling a lot of things here, but yeah. This is a newish playthrough, but I've already cracked the basics, as it were. Ooh, I just realised something. Our ship is still quite fucked. If we want to, be sailing anywhere, we ought to fix that up. One of them. Do they think I'm a member? Blah blah blah. Same thing. Bundle of envelopes. A bundle of envelopes. The bottom part is being slowly eaten by some kind of mole. The note on it says, "A follower of the heart relentless, passing on his knowledge to apprentice dancers." What does that sound like? I think that might be for Mr. Ecdysis. Learned in heart but encased by winter. Now that sort of sounds like him, but possibly also another, so I'm not going to risk delivering it to him in case it's the wrong person. Hey, let's go to the wharf to, I don't know, fix the ship. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Scrap of information, that's still a thing. We're still fine on the old investigation front. They're looking for notoriety. News of my exploits is reaching the wrong people. Respond with an story. Now, I am going to check my old notepad of not cheats, but things I've discovered. And by yeah, it's nothing at all like cheats. Things I've discovered. So, do we have one of those? Yes, we do. Oh damn, Apollonian story? Well, that is this here symbol here. Unfortunately, it's exhausted on this book, so we can't use it. Let's go have a chat with Miss Morland, and we'll trade some sailor stories for... See how these times line up? 30 seconds, 20 seconds. As long as you're quick about it. They would like some more money for more repairs. See, we're down to 1 wound of timber. And now down to no wounds of timber. The ship is right as rain again. Yeah, nothing happens out of that. No one's clocked on to us yet. So there is an old story that has been a particular favourite of mine. Come, I'll put the cattle on. Yep, the cattle. Someone may need to go through and read through, you know, fix a few words here and there, I've noticed, but by and large, it's a very good effort. In case you're, you know, very confused, kettle with a K, not cattle with a cow. The 9 Muses. Once the arts were not only visible, but lauded, glorified, not just limited to song and dance, but the higher studies. 9 is their number, as 9 so often is. While the Muses seem more distant now, it is their nature to be pursued. The story, it's again local, so if we were to leave this place it would be lost. But it is Apollonian, which we do desire. Occult and mortal would be 2 other traits that could potentially be rolled in your discover this. Let me just adjust myself. I have no idea how long I've been recording for. 42 minutes. Well, that's quite a long one. Sure, we can take a break here. Hopefully this won't require a second book, because I don't have a second book to offer. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting mod. I am very much enthused by it, and hopefully I'm going to be playing it a lot until Book of Hours comes out. I'm looking forward to that game as well, but this game, pardon the pun, will tide me over until then. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. Hope you have enjoyed it, and hope you continue to watch more episodes. I've been Roanoke. Peace.